The late-morning lull at Patty's Diner was the kind of quiet that let a soul breathe. A ceiling fan clacked lazily overhead, swirling scents of frying bacon and fresh coffee through the narrow space. Cassie Morales, 23, table wiper, order runner, side dreamer, balanced a tray of pancakes on her shoulder and hummed along with the jukebox's soft classic rock tune. Outside the foggy windows of Highway 17, autumn leaves fluttered across the parking lot, brushing up against a single motorcycle gleaming black and silver beneath the sun. Its owner, Clyde "Pop" Harrison, sat alone in booth 3, a sturdy figure in an old leather jacket patched with memories. He was a regular every Thursday, tipping with 2 crisp dollar bills and the same gentle sentence. "Kindness is currency, kiddo. Spend it generous." Cassie liked him. He reminded her of her abuelo. Patient eyes, stories that rambled in scenic detours, laughter like gravel rolling down a hill. So when 3 high school boys strutted in that day, ball caps backward, sneakers squeaking, confidence blurred with malice, she guessed trouble might follow. "Yo, old man," the tallest kid called, sidling up to Pop's booth. "That ride outside yours looks vintage. Bet it drives like you, slow and rusty." Pop folded his newspaper. "Runs faithful," he said, voice calm. "Gets me where memories wait." Another boy snorted. "Where's that? Retirement home?" They laughed, loud and sharp. Cassie's chest tightened. She set her tray on the counter and walked over, smile steady, heart racing. "Morning, guys," she said. "Grab any table you like. I'll be right with menus." The tallest smirked. "We're good here. Old-timer's almost done anyway." Pop lifted his coffee mug. It trembled just a little. Cassie noticed. "That booth's reserved for him," she replied, tone light but firm. "Plenty of seats open." "What, you his granddaughter?" The third kid jeered. Cassie ignored the sting. "Let's move, please." The boy flicked his straw wrapper at Pop's plate. "Make us." Adrenaline surged. Cassie planted her feet. "Gentlemen, you are leaving this booth," she said, voice carrying across the diner. Other customers looked up, silverware suspended. "Right now." For a moment, time held its breath. Then the boy's bravado cracked, thin veneer over teenage insecurity. They shoved off, muttering about crazy waitress and old freak, and stomped to a corner table. Cassie exhaled. Pop's eyes glistened. "You didn't have to," he murmured. "Sure I did," she replied, refilling his mug. "Heroes wear aprons sometimes." He chuckled. "Kindness is currency," he reminded her. Minutes later, the manager barreled from the kitchen, Mr. Dunn, barrel-chested, tie-stained with ketchup. "Cassie," he hissed. "Office now." Behind the glass-pane door, he leveled a finger. "You do not confront customers, ever." They were harassing Pop, you saw. "Doesn't matter." Dunn's face reddened. "Those kids are Coach Randall's sons, town big shots. We need their family's business. You embarrassed them." Cassie's stomach nodded. "So protecting a patron is wrong? Policy's policy." He yanked a write-up form. Sign or clock out for good. Her pen hovered. She pictured rent due, her mom's insulin refills, community college payments. But her signature wouldn't just accept blame. It would teach those boys cruelty costs nothing. She set the pen down. "I won't sign a lie." Dunn's jaw tightened. "Then you're fired, hand in your apron." 2 hours later, Patty's Diner buzzed without her, the boys still in their corner bragging over milkshakes. Pop had ridden off with a solemn nod of thanks, but Cassie felt hollow, a good deed swallowed by unfairness. She sat on the curb out front, autumn breeze tugging her ponytail, watching clouds drift like thoughts she couldn't catch. What now? Another job? Another manager telling her to swallow her voice? A distant rumble broke her reverie. At first she assumed thunder rolling off the Blue Ridge, but the sky stayed crisp blue. The rumble deepened, multiple engines syncing like a wild heartbeat. Over the hill curved a river of motorcycles, chrome flashing, pipes growling. 10, 20, 50. They swarmed the parking lot, boots crunching leaves, engines cutting one by one until silence throbbed with stunned awe. Cassie stood, speechless. Mr. Dunn burst through the diner doors, tie flapping. Customers pressed to the windows. At the front of the pack sat Pop, helmet tucked beneath his arm, flanked by riders of every age and background. Latina women with braided hair, black veterans with Vietnam patches, white-bearded giants in denim, a young Sikh in a turban, a paraplegic Marine, on a three-wheeler. Their jackets bore the emblem Highway Guardians MC. Pop introduced Cassie, voice proud. This is the waitress who stood up when no one else did. A woman rider revved her engine softly. He called after lunch, she said. Told us. Respect got disrespected. Pop face Dunn. We're here for two things, coffee and justice, in that order. Dunn stammered. We're booked. The woman cocked an eyebrow. Looks empty to me. 70 riders filed in. Leather mixing with diner vinyl like a congregation of thunderclouds inside a shoebox. The teenage bullies gawked, milkshakes halfway to their lips. One swallowed hard, chocolate dribbled down his chin. Cassie, still apronless, watched the riders fill every seat. She might be unemployed, but she could still serve. She stepped behind the counter and grabbed a stack of mugs. Pop's voice boomed, "Coffee's on me, and tips go to Cassie." Dunn sputtered protests. 2. Late. Riders ordered stacks of pancakes, burgers, pies. Each left $20 bills under $5 checks. The tip jar overflowed like a green waterfall. Mid-rush, the three boys attempted to slink out. A biker politely blocked the door. "Sit, eat, listen," he said. They obeyed. When plates emptied and forks clinked their final note, Pop rose. The Ayu diner hushed. "Kindness," he began, "costs courage. Cassie paid with her job. We reimburse in solidarity." He turned to Dunn. "Rehire her, give her a raise. Apologize to those boys and this young woman." Dunn's lips moved without sound. Finally he mumbled, "Cassie, you're rehired, and sorry." But Cassie cleared her throat. "Thank you, Mr. Dunn," she said steady. "I accept the apology, but I won't return." Gasps fluttered. She continued, "I'm starting something new. Pop and I talked." She held up a battered notebook where she'd scribbled ideas while coffee brewed. "A mobile soup kitchen for anyone hungry along Highway 17. We'll call it Kindness on Wheels." Pop beamed. "Our club will fund the van." The room erupted. Cheers, claps, a chorus of engines revved in approval. Even the teenage boys stood, eyes wide. Something, soft blooming where arrogance had been. The tallest stepped toward Cassie, voice shaky. I'm sorry, we were jerks. Could we, volunteer?" She smiled. Plenty of dishes to wash. Outside the sun dipped, painting the sky in copper strokes. Riders mounted bikes, headlights, flicking on like fireflies. Cassie hugged Pop, inhaling leather and engine oil and hope. "Kindness is currency," she whispered. He patted her shoulder. "And you just made the biggest deposit of your life." That night, as engines roared away and Patty's neon sign buzzed back to its regular hush, Cassie tucked a wad of tip money into her backpack, seed funds for the soup kitchen. She glanced at the diner where she'd served countless coffees, then at the open road glimmering under the moon. Her future wasn't inside someone else's rules anymore. It was out there, riding on the backs of 100 wheels fueled by every act of courage that dared to stand between cruelty and compassion. And somewhere down the highway, a new story waited. About a van that smelled like home-cooked soup, and hope. About bikers who believed toughness meant protecting the vulnerable. About teenagers who learned apology could ride shotgun with redemption. All because one waitress decided an elderly biker's dignity was worth more than a paycheck, and because 500 strangers agreed that in the grand economy of humanity, kindness always pays compounded interest.